Good morning. We said this is here today on how to find the area of an equilateral triangle and also how to use the use formula to find area of any triangle as long as you know the perimeter. So we're gonna demonstrate both ways how to find the area of an equilateral triangle. Now, since you know an equilateral triangle has three congruent sides and three congruent angles. So, in this case, you are given a triangle where each side is S. So, we know the original how to find area of a right triangle. To find area of a right triangle is area equal 1/2 base times height. In this case, either way, the base of the triangle is S, but we don't know how to find, we don't know H. So we're gonna use one of the special right triangle technique, which is 30, 60, 90. So we have the 30, we have the 60, we have 60. We're gonna use the perpendicular bisector forming it to there. In this case, this no longer from here to there. You will end up, that will be 1/2 S, and this will be 1/2 S, and this is how the entire base is S. Remember, from a special right triangle, this is your 90 degree, this is 60, 90, this will be 30-degree angles. So remember, there was a special relationship between the hypotenuse and the short leg. The short leg is half of the hypotenuse. Now, this H is gonna become the long leg. So in order to find the long, you can use Pythagorean theorem. But this is the hypotenuse, this is one of the leg, and this is the other legs. In this case, we're gonna use this special right triangle 30, 60, 90. The hypotenuse is S. The short leg is 1/2 S. So to find the long leg is the short leg 1/2 S times square root of 3. This is going to become the height of the triangle. So your height now is 1/2 S times square root of 3. Now we can find the area of the triangle. We know the base, which is S. We know the height, which is 1/2 S, and remember, area is 1/2. That will be 1/2, right? Times the base. This is the base times S, right? Times the height, which is 1/2 S, times square root of 3. Then we have 1/2 times 1/2, this become 1/4, and we have S times S, this become S squared times square root of 3. This is the formula that you need to use to find the area of a triangle. Not any triangle, but equilateral triangle. It's only work for equilateral triangle. If it's not equilateral triangle, you cannot use it. We're gonna do some application. Since we know those formulas, we're going to apply those formulas. So let's take a little break and we're going to come back. Alright, we have come back from more application. We have established that the formula earlier for any equilateral triangle is 1/4 S squared. S is one of these sides times square root of 3. This only works for equilateral triangle. Or you can use the rule formula that works for any triangle where you find the perimeter. Then the semi-perimeter, then you apply that. This works for any triangle. So as long as you know the perimeter of the triangle, this will be work. So the easiest one that will be for the equilateral triangle. So let's do the application. In order to find the area of that, the formula said is 1/4 and one of these sides squared, you square it, times square root of 3, then you're done. And since we're looking for area has to be expressed in square unit. In this case, you only have to evaluate that. Alright, then you will have A equal 1/4 is same thing as divided by 4, you can put it over 4. Then 5 squared is 25, and that would be the perfect answer. Well, since many of you want to change that to decimal, you don't have to, you can leave it as that. Alright, if you change that to decimal, that will be how many times there's 4 goes to 25, that will be 6 1/4, that's about 6.25. Square root of 3 is evaluated as 1.73 and 4 places decimal. Then now you can change that to decimal, but you don't have to. This is the perfect answer. Alright. When you're doing your test, that will not be evaluated in decimal. So you will have to stop there. This will be the best possible answer. Right? Then if you want to change that to decimal, you can do that. The reason you're going to change it to decimal, sometimes you're going to ask you to round your answer. So to whatever the action to round to, then you can know what the estimate is. In this case, that will be 10.8253 square unit. In this case, you will have to evaluate that. That's the one way you can find that answer. Alright? Then you're done with this problem. But if you were to use the EU formulas, first we'll have to find the perimeter. Since it's an equilateral triangle, offside will be 5. In this case, the perimeter will be 15. Alright? If you want to find the decimal perimeter, you will take this U divided by 2. Then the decimal perimeter will be 7.5. Then you can go use that formula. Right? Then you should be end up to find the same value. In this case, that will be square root of 7.5, which is S, times 7.5 minus this side, which is 5. Then you'll have to cube it, because if you do that 3 times, you will get the same answer. And that will give you about the same answer. Now, this will give you 2.5. Then you raise it to third power. $7.5, and we'll now take 2.5, raise it to third power. This is 15.625. Then we're going to multiply that by 7.5. Then we take the square root of that. This will give you square root of 117.1875. Then when you take the square root of that, you will see bang, and it gives you the same answer. So both formulas will work. Alright. So I prefer to use the equilateral formula because it's straightforward. You just replace it, then you just evaluate to get the answer. Alright, let's do some more application. It doesn't matter how many times you do it, the concept remains the same as long as you know how to apply that. As you can see, it's worked both ways. Second problem, you have an equilateral triangle where the sides are 11. So since an equilateral, all of them will be 11. So the perimeter in this case will be 33. Alright, so if I want to find the area by using this formula, I will put over 4. 1/4 is to divide by 4, and I'm going to take this side, which is 11. Then I'm going to square it and times root of 3. Then that should be my answer. In this case, I'm just going to evaluate 11 squared is 121. I will have 121 over 4 times square root of 3, then square unit. This is the best possible answer. So, anytime they're going to ask you, they don't ask you to round this to decimal, then that's where you stop. But we can take 121 divided by 4. This will give you about 30.25, and as earlier you know, square root of 3 is that, right? And that expressed in square unit. Then we're going to multiply this by 1.7321. Then it's going to tell you the area is about 52.396025 square unit. The reason we change that to decimal, just in case you are being asked to evaluate that. Other than that, you should have stopped from here. This is your area. Now, so I'm going to ask you to round to the nearest and nearest 100, nearest 1,000, and that's how you have to change that to decimal. And the other alternative is that we find the perimeter. Since each side is 11, multiplied by 3, the perimeter is 3. To find the semi-perimeter, that will be 33 divided by 2 in this case. Now change that to decimal. 33 divided by 2 is 16.5. Then we're going to use it in the euro formula, which is square root of s, which is 16.5 minus times 16.5 minus 11. Then you raise it to the third power, since this is an equilateral triangle. If it's not an equilateral triangle, you don't have to raise it to the third power. You will have the same thing multiplied by each side, because each side is going to be different. Right, in this case, you will have 16.5. That will be about 5.5. Then you raise that to the third power. 16.5 minus 11 is 5.5. You raise that to third power. That will give you 166.375. Multiply that by 16.5. Then you will find that A equals square root of 2,745.1875. Then you take the square root of that, and this will tell you what the area is. And as you can see, then 4, 5, 4, 5, 3, 6, 90. Since we evaluate that, as you can see, it's kind of a little bigger, but not much difference. So both ways this work. All right. Let's do another problem. All right. This is work for this one for equilateral triangle, the other one for any other triangle. The only difference when it is not an equilateral triangle, this side going to be different. So since we are using equilateral triangle, then we use that. This is a big one. Square root of 5, and we're going to find the area of that. Right? Using the formula, it's A equal square root of 5 squared times square root of 3. Don't get any scared, it's just a formula. So we're going to square this. That's going to give you 49 times 5. So you square 7, I'll give you 49. You square root of 5, that will give you 5. Square root of 25, which is 5, times square root of 3 over 4. And that will give you area. And as always, that is the expression square unit. In this case, we'll have 49 times 5. 49 times 5. That's going to give you 8 is 245 root of 3 over 4. This is the best answer unless you change that to decimals. You cannot change that to decimal. You divide this by 4. That's going to give about 61.25, 61 and a quarter. And square root of 3 is 1.7321. Right, multiply that. 17321. This is roughly about 106.09 square unit. Alright, this is your area. If you were to use the other formula, take this multiplied by 3, that will give you the perimeter. Then you will have P equal 3 times that is 21 square root of 5. Since you want that to be in decimal, you're going to take what square root of 5 is. Square root of 5. That's about 2.2360. Then multiply this by 21. That will give you what P is. In this case, P is 46.9574. Alright. Then to find S, you will divide this by 2. Then which is 23.4787. So I'm gonna keep all of that. Alright. So our answer does not change that much. Remember the area is about 106. So we're gonna use the other EU formulas. Alright. To use the EU formulas, you will have A equal square root of S, which is 23.4787 times 23.4787 minus 7.5 minus 7 square root of 5. What was 7 square root of 5? Square root of 5 times 7. This is 15.26525. Then you will have to cube that. And you will have A equal square root of 23.4787. So let's work inside of that parentheses. Plus 23.4787. This is about 7.8262. We're gonna cube that. Alright. And we're gonna time this by 23. That will be 23.4787. Time is 479.3545. multiply this by 23.4787. Alright, you end up with a big number, 11,254.62152, and you take the square root of that, which is 106.08. Since we're doing a lot of rounding, 0878 square unit. There's not big significance between those two numbers. Alright, so we're gonna do one last one, then we call it a quit. So your calculator is very essential when you're doing these numbers. Right. One last one, we call it a quit. Alright, and they tell you this is an equilateral triangle. It's not getting any easier. So put on your thinking cap. However, you are giving is triangle here. So if this is an equilateral triangle, this will have been 60 degrees and this will have been 60 degrees. So this has to be bisect that. This will become 30 degrees. This become 30 degrees. As you can see, you have a 30, 60, 90. This is the short leg, this is the hypotenuse. We need to find the distance from here to there, which is the long leg. This will be a 60 degrees. So this is based on a 30, 60, 90 triangle. My short leg is 30. My short leg is 6, is half of the hypotenuse. That shows that. So I need to find my long leg. So long leg was short leg times square root of 3. So if I take my long leg, I multiply by square root of 3. This will give me this. And this is congruent to that. It's the same thing. The same triangle. If this is 6, this becomes 30, 60. And this is the kind of same distance. It's a radius if it was in the triangle. Then this will be 6 square root of 3. Then I can find my side. 6 square root of 3 plus 6 square root of 3 is 12 square root of 3. Now I know this side of the triangle, then I can use the formula is over 4, 12 square root of 3 squared, right, times another square root of 3. Alright, let's work with that mess. If I square 12, that's going to give me 144. Times square root of 3 squared is 3. And times square root of 3, everything is over 4. Now we just have to simplify that. As you can see, 144 should be able to divide by 4, I guess. That's 36. Then this is going to become 36. 36 times 3 is 108. I'll give you 108 square root of 3 over 4. That's your area. And this must be expressed in square unit. And as always, you may have to round that. We're going to change that to decimal. Take 108 divided by 4. I'll give you 27. Actually, we get the answer that the answer is 27 square root of 3 square unit. This is the best answer. So if you want to evaluate that, and take square root of 3 Alright, multiply this by 27, and this will give you the area, which is 46.7653718 square unit. Then you round it to whatever you are asked to round it. Other than that, this is the best answer. Alright? We don't have to do anything. Alright, what we did, we were able to find AC, which is one side. Since it's the equilateral triangle, all this side will be 12 square root of 3. So we take that side, either one of the side, we square it. Alright? When you square that, that's going to be 12 is 144. And square root of 3 squared is 3, that will be 144. 144 times 3. And 4 goes 144 36 times. You take 36, you multiply it. You multiply it by that. And that was actually the answer. You don't have to really divide by 4. That should be 108 square root of 3. There was a big mistake here. I had already canceled the 4 here. That's 36, that will give you 108 square root of 3. Right. The answer is 108 square root of 3. That's a big difference. And 108, we're going to reevaluate that. 108 square root of 3. Square root of 3 times 108. The area should be 187.06.14872 square unit. So it's always wise to revisit your calculation. Right? 12 squared is 144. 3 square root of 3 squared is 3. 144 times 3, and 4 goes to 144 36 times. The 4 cancel each other. So you will have 36 times 3 is 108 square root of 3 square unit. And when you take 108 square root of 3, you evaluate that, it will give you that. So let's try to see if we can find the perimeter. The perimeter will be 36 square root of 3. Alright. 36 square root of 3. So this side is 12 square root of 3. That's the perimeter. Alright. To find the semi-perimeter, we're going to change that. We're going to change perimeter to decimal. Take square root of 3. That's the old formula. Square root of 3 times 36. The perimeter will be 62.35382907, and divide this by 2. That will give you the semi-perimeter. And this S is 31.1769 1454. Then we're going to use the U formula to evaluate that. For the U formula, the area will be square root of the semi-perimeter, which is 31.1769. 1454. I'm not rounding, I'm using everything. That will give you 31.1769 1454 1454 minus 8 is some of my information, right? What was this side? 12 square root of 3. So let's evaluate what 12 square root of 3 was. That will be minus 20. And 78. 46, 09, 69, then I'm gonna cube that. I'm keeping all of my decimals, so the answer can be as close as possible. 1769, 1454. Alright. I'm gonna cube that. That will be 30. That will be 31.1769 1454. Then you're gonna cube that answer. Then it's gonna give you 11. 1,122.36, 89, 25. That's when you cube that. Then we're gonna multiply it by 31.1769 1454, and it gives you a equal root of 34,992,000,004, and you take square root of that, bang, and that gives me 187.061. Oh god, that when I do not round it, 87. So what happens when I keep all of this small, my answer is more accurate square unit. So that's what happens when I tell you keep all of your decimal. You're going to get a much more accurate answer. Look at that. At least 3 significant digit accuracy, 161. Very close now. Right? That was, we said this is in a lesson on equilateral triangle and Euler's formula. You know what to do? Practice, practice, share, like, and make the grade. Thank you. Have a nice one. I'll see you next time.